It's going to be Canadian news for September 23rd. Blair was on an interview saying most of the migrants that have applied or came in illegally have left, and then Twitter for Canadian Politics called him out on it, and then he came out with some story saying a special section of the area has left. So if they're lying this much about this situation, that means what they're hiding is even worse. So someone should really look into what's going on. At the Ford event, when he was giving the speech, he was explaining to the crowd just how big of a scandal the Ontario Liberals have left. And some people were shouting, "Lock her up," and he was also saying that they'll not get away with it. So this is probably something big that people might want to dig into for themselves. The Aga Khan donations that Canada is giving to the establishment, that's probably something someone might want to look into with all the things that are happening with Trudeau. The Governor General, or the assistant, Julie Padet, she's probably just a Liberal plant who donated or is part of their cult, so she was just thrown in there. Probably something to look into too. The Netherlands have cut their ties with the White Helmets after they realized that they were a terrorist organization and they were linked to Al Qaeda. So that's probably something Canada should look into with the 40 families of White Helmets that are coming into here. Mad Max, who's running for the PPC party, that's something everyone should look into, is calling out fake news as it's happening. So so people that get swayed by these comments and their mockingbird tactics, they know what exactly is happening and they're aware of it. There was a video of the Dalai Lama saying refugees, once their nations are safe, should go back to their own countries. That's probably something anyone that's called a racist under this new tactic they're using should bring up and show to them, see what they say. NDP, after the photo of the mayoral run for Toronto, Faith Goldie and Ford Ontario were taken at his Ford Fest, media made a big deal about it, and NDP asked for the Ford to denounce it. So now it's not politics the way you want it, it's politics the way they allow you to want it. Something to look into. Immigration numbers were doubled down on by Trudeau with his meeting with Spain. Someone might want to look into the official pictures that are being released of the meeting. Doug was at the Ottawa tornado area working with the people and being government for the people and showing it on Twitter, which is good, so people understand just how government should be running, and having an alternative media section to the fake news because they're not going to report any of these things. During the Blair interview on the speech where he says most of the asylum seekers have left, he's talking about how when the illegal immigrants come in or the border crosses jump over, he emphasizes the part they do have a legal process to go through, which is normally a 2-year process, and they're on the streets in that time. So he emphasizes this because they found a loophole in the system where the legal crosses are in here, and unfortunately, now they're here, we have to take care of them. This is a tactic. Someone should look into it that's responsible and cares about the safety of the people called Canadians. The gun ban they're also pushing at the exact same time seems to be a pretty linked situation. that's something someone should want to look into. Anyone interested in the PPC party should look into an old interview of Max at the CCFR, which is a channel on YouTube for gun owners of Canada. This is when he was running for the leadership of the Conservative Party. I don't know if his views are still the same, but even then he was speaking the same stuff. So anyone that wants to check it out, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. During interviews, Justin and Freeland are saying that the NAFTA side deals are side talk right now because it's not that important to them, but they are all meeting at New York, so maybe it might come up. So either they've totally given up or they're completely sabotaging the deal. And so far it's only been Doug Ford as a province leader that went down there. I'm not sure why the other provinces aren't either, but we'll see how that turns out. EU is giving the British 2 months to pay 2.7 billion of a fine or a fee they have to pay to the EU. This is just the FU that these guys are giving for their Brexit situation. 5,000, I don't know why that news was in here. 5,000 fentanyl pills were illegally given out by pharmacists. This was an investigation and this pharmacist was caught. So this entire fentanyl opioid crisis has been manufactured from the get-go. It's the same exact situation in America. They buy off the pharmacist, they sell it out, they stage robberies, all these stuff. It's probably is China getting rid of all their shitty drugs and the cartels moving in. A judge champions a lenient gun crime against a teen, and his excuse was this teen was probably involved with harsh life when he was younger, so we have to be lenient on him, even though this was, I believe, a gun crime and drugs. So the liberal people in court are releasing the criminals, they're being lenient on the criminals, they're lowering the cops' numbers. So it's all getting pretty interesting, folks. Sobeys is buying out Farm Boys. So this is just all corporations coming under one umbrella. And they all get to sell you the same stuff, get to choose the pricings. Also, from earlier on this month, three major CEOs have said that the grocery prices are going to be going up due to the tariffs and all the situations. Doug Ford is putting up a new committee in Ontario to look into the Liberals' spending, which is probably bigger and worse. Faith crashed a 10 o'clock a.m. debate for the first debate for the Toronto mayor. They're doing increased tactics to censor her, even though I'm pretty sure she's high on the polls, and they're doing suppression polling to make those two look, which is John Tory and the Keesmaat, look more favorable than they are. It's a good thing that she crashed it because it brings awareness and attracts more people to hear about the scandal rather than the information, and from the scandal they'll go seeking the information. And that's it for Canada.